Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Living to Do review of Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 18. It's just titled Houston Reunion. Thank you all for coming back and staying with me if you have these last few weeks that I've been doing this review of Married at First Sight. It's one of my favorite shows. So I really appreciate the ones that have been here or here now and who have been here for the last few weeks. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the people that have subscribed to the channel. I am very thankful for that, so thank you very much, and I welcome anybody else to subscribe, like, and share the video. I would really appreciate it. So let's get started with this review of the reunion. I felt that the reunion was better than Decision Day. I was more excited to see them. I know time has passed, so they have more stories to tell, things that we haven't heard about. So it just seemed a little bit more refreshing, though it wasn't all that happy with the couples. First off, it was Rachel and Jose. They're still married, but they look like they're living separately. Kevin Frazier, the host, definitely asked Jose about locking out Rachel. And basically he said, oops. That's a big oops. That's an oops that really should have sent you to divorce court. But they talked about it, the big blow up. He said he probably blew it out of proportion. He needs to get with the right wording and a real sincere apology. I think that would help their relationship. You were wrong. You were dead wrong. Let her know. Let her know that you are remorseful due to your actions, if you really are. And be consistent with treating her right. That was the worst thing you could have possibly done to her. It was big enough for her to not come back, and nobody would have faulted her for that. A happy note on them, that Rachel's highlights in her hair, I loved it. It looked really nice. They said they broke up, but they are working on things. They broke up, I guess, for about 3 or 4 weeks, and now they're in the talking stages, but they're not living together. Of course, Rachel was, she felt that Jose was impatient, and I can definitely see that. He said when she tried to move in, he was always complaining about her stuff. And who didn't see that coming? He looks very territorial. That's his stuff, his house, the way he wants things done. He should be in charge. He's making all the money, the control. You do what he says. I could see that coming, and I see why you left. This is the problem I felt that they would always have. You know, they need their common space, their shared space, to be something maybe that's new to both of them, not something that he owns. They might need to buy something together for her to feel comfortable in his house. I'm sure that doesn't make you feel at home. You feel like you can get kicked out any day. It's very conditional. You know, you have to do what he says or else, or he's going to make you feel a certain type of way where you're going to want to leave. She said there were no more sparks for Jose. And I get that. If someone's doing all this to you, how are you still tripping over them and finding them interesting? You probably want to find an escape route. So I understand that she has no more sparks for Jose. And that's hard for Jose to hear. When Kevin asked about her moving back in, Jose joked, he wants Rachel, but not her stuff. And you know, a lot of people say, when people say things like that, there's an element of truth. And I think there is an element of truth, because he hasn't worked on his need to control things, his need not, I understand when someone comes to your house, it's because you don't want their stuff. That's why the place needs to be their place, not his place, for her to feel welcome and all her things. They talked about Summer Rachel, and Rachel said she wanted it to be Summer Rose. She wanted to include him in her life and her plans. And I think Jose wants that. He just needs to work on himself so he can get there, so he can accept somebody in his life. Okay, next we'll talk about Brett and Ryan. They're still not together. Yeah, we all knew that. Though they invited Alexa, that's Ryan's sister, in this reunion to speak. And if you take a good look at her, in fact, you don't have to just look at her. She looks like Ryan in a wig. They look very much alike. I know they're brother and sister, but they definitely look like brother and sister. They look like they could be twins even. Now, Alexa said that Brett was the one distracted in the marriage because she believes that Brett was seeing someone. Now, Brett wasn't forthcoming with this information. She did admit, finally, that she did meet somebody and they exchanged numbers. She's not seeing them then now. She's not with anybody, so she said. Now, apparently, she had exchanged this number with this man when she had asked Ryan about the dating app. At that point, they're alluding to she had already exchanged numbers with the guy. So how was she in position to ask Ryan about his dating app when you actually got a number from somebody? I don't know if they were talking, but apparently a phone number was exchanged. So Brett wasn't open and honest about this. She seemed to be talking in circles when she was answering Kevin, the host. Oh, Kevin Frazier, the host, when she was answering his questions. You know, she's always been very forthcoming and honest and open about everything. But when it pertained to this issue, she seemed to recoil a little bit. And she wasn't really direct. She kind of said some things, but she was talking in circles. And so it only matters because you wanted to say something about somebody else in the relationship, stepping out on the relationship or taking the first steps to leave the relationship by seeking someone else out on a dating app when you had done the same thing before this individual or before this information came to light and you talked to him about it. You were doing the same thing. I'm very surprised at you, Brett. Very surprised. Okay, the next couple that spoke with Kevin Frazier was Gil and Marilla. Gil comes in with a beard, a full beard. Not liking the beard on Gil. It makes him look, I don't know, without it, he just looked sweeter, younger, kinder. I just loved him like that. This beard kind of just takes a lot of that away. The first impression, the look. I just really liked his look before. I thought he still looked very manly, and I loved the baby face or the no hair on his face and in his head. I always thought that looked cute. He was dressed up in a maroon suit. Not my favorite. But he had on red bottom shoes. Well, he disclosed that him and Marilla were not together, that they broke up. So I wondered if that was a parting gift from Marilla, designer red bottom shoes. They went over and talked about their marriage, how Gil felt about the kiss on the cheek. He gave it a 1. Marilla said she was bothered by the way Gil poked fun at her, but I guess she never said anything. I'm not surprised they broke up because I was surprised that she even started to soften to him. I think Marilla is an ice queen, and she looks like one. I was never really a fan of hers. So I think we had some similarities, which I was bothered that I had anything similar with her. But I never really liked her. They broke up 14 days after decision day. She thought they were too different. She was the one that initiated the breakup. She had an issue with finances, which she thought would be an issue with stability. Now Gil is trying to defend himself, saying he made more money than her, $100 more every other week or something. He was saying, they were always talking about she made over 100,000 and he made 40,000. I don't know when. Maybe because she works for the school and she doesn't get paid all the time. I don't understand how that worked. That's a big difference in salary. So I'm not sure how he came up with that math. Now, what was really, really sad is Gil said he sold everything, I guess, to move in and be with Mirla. And I remember that he had a lease and he wasn't going to sign a new lease because they were going to get a place together and he was looking and she allowed him to look. So you let him on. I guess, if it wasn't going to work and you let that man get rid of his place, sell everything. He sold everything but his clothes, his blender, and his dog. I mean, it's just you really can't trust people. You need money in reserve just because if things don't work out, especially you don't really know each other, maybe you shouldn't give up your place so quickly. That is sad. I hopefully he has money. He's always claimed he doesn't have any money in the bank. I hope he has something to get him a place. Because he has nothing. You got to buy a new bed. You got to do everything. It's like almost being out on the streets. Poor Gil. I just felt so bad for him. Mirla said she didn't want him around her, I guess for his own good. Maybe she was being negative and she doesn't want him. And I don't know. She just thought that he shouldn't be around her. Gil says he's still in love with her. She says she does not love Gil and that she told him that. And, I think they showed clips and I do remember her saying that she chooses to love her husband. So what's the difference? You choose just not to now and your heart was never really in it. You could just flip a switch on and off, love him or don't love him. So now I'm thinking, knowing what we know about their situation, their marriage, Gil's beard, is that a depression beard? That would make sense. I don't know. It seems like when he finds a new love, he might shave that off. But he says he's in therapy. So, and that he has an issue with, he never had it before because he's probably never been rejected before, but rejection. So now he's in therapy. I just feel for this man. He is a good-looking man, a good man, the best husband. They showed that he was the only husband that didn't really leave or throw out his spouse. He's been there this whole time, and he really made the effort. He's a good man. And she never deserved him. She never did. What a waste of time. We should not waste a good man. I mean, my God, there's only 4 of them? I don't know. There's just not a lot of them. We should really try to match him up with a good woman. There's a lot of good women. There's just not enough good men to match these good women with. And that's what's really sad. I'm just so sad for Gil. She wasn't good enough. I just hope she didn't ruin his sweet disposition that he always had, always in a good mood, always saw the happy, positive side of things. I just hope that doesn't change with him because that will be really sad. My heart goes out to Gil. Okay, Kevin Frazier met up with the 5 guys without the ladies. Wasn't a lot to say about this. I do, again, notice Jose does this often. He's always hiking up one of his shoulders. I think maybe, I don't know what shoulder it is, the left shoulder, but I think because he's a short guy and he's trying to give himself height, but it looks weird. He did that in his wedding photo too. Relax, Jose. Just relax. Relax that shoulder. Ryan said that Mirla and Rachel were good friends. He also said that he thinks that Mirla likes Rachel being single. Because, Rachel is not living with Jose. So I'm sure Mirla's saying things like, if any man locked me out of my house, that's it. I would never, ever. And I'm sure she's hearing things like that from Mirla. So I don't know if their relationship is a good one. She might need just some time to reflect on her own life, her own experiences with Jose by herself and not be fed information. They didn't say that, but the fact that Ryan pointed that out and knowing Mirla's situation with Gil and Jose's situation with Rachel, I could see Mirla saying that, and she might really mean it. So that's, information that's going to go into Rachel's head while she thinks, should I, shouldn't I, should I, is he good for me? It's going to be interesting to know if Mirla was talking in her ear about possibly separating or divorcing Jose. They also mentioned Jose and Johnny's bromance. Johnny, I believe he said that Jose's vibrance is like sunshine. Oh my goodness. If he really lightens up your day, well, good for you. Well, let's talk about the wild bunch, the wild couple, which was Michaela and Zach. Michaela is speaking to Kevin Frazier without Zach being present. She says she requested this setup so he wouldn't interrupt her when she spoke. I don't know if he was always doing that to her, but okay. So she talked about, their experiences, ups and downs, She brought out her sister, Sharifa, I think it is, who didn't add much to the conversation. She thinks that Zach is messing with with Michaela's emotions. Michaela stated she wanted a divorce, or actually she didn't. It was Zach who wanted a divorce at decision day. But right after that, Michaela went home with Zach. He invited her to his house where she spent 7 to 8 days. They spent 7 to 8 days together where she is cooking and cleaning, acting like a wife, having sex with him. And, at one point they had sex and she and Zach told her not to tell anybody, that he would deny it. It's hard to believe what's true, because if she spent 7 or 8 days over there, I'm sure you slept with her. I don't know. Then I don't know if I think both of them are not telling the truth. It just seems really weird. Michaela feels that she got played by Zach. There might be some truth in that. I don't know. I don't believe either one of them. Actually, then Zach comes out to speak to Kevin, or actually he's speaking alone to Kevin, and Michaela's in the back. So Kevin was talking about their relationship going up and down like a roller coaster, like a roller coaster going up and down. And Zach said, no, not like a roller coaster. It was up and down. And it's like, Zach, that's like a roller coaster. The concept of a roller coaster is that it goes up and down. Zach doesn't understand the concept of a roller coaster. He doesn't understand the concept of a divorce. What does he understand? He baffles me. I think I just don't understand his thought process. He doesn't seem to, it's like he doesn't understand how things work. Marriages, roller coasters, divorces, I don't know. He says to Kevin that this was the worst relationship that he ever had. But just a couple weeks prior at decision day, you said that Michaela was so great. She was this and that. She was so great. She was second to your mother. So now she's the worst. Yeah, you two don't need to be together at all. At all. First of all, I don't trust Michaela. Something about her seems very sneaky and conniving, and I just think she's playing with us. And Zach thinks, I don't know what Zach thinks. I don't understand his thought process on a lot of things, and that just leads me to believe, I don't know, maybe he's not that smart, or we're just so dumb. He's out there with his philosophies, but no, I don't think that's it, because nobody understands him. He's just, wow. They both dodged a bullet with this relationship. Go your separate ways. I hope they don't encounter each other. I would love to see how they, maybe in the future we can have a catch-up show to see if they found someone else, if they're different, if they can come back and reflect on their behavior and be more honest. Maybe they just can't do that now. I don't know. But that's it for now. Next week will be part 2. I will be there for that. I want to thank you all for stopping by and listening to me talk about one of my favorite shows, Married at First Sight. Again, I would like to offer or ask that you subscribe or like this channel. I would really appreciate it. I think that's all for now. So let me get going. Like always, I got to get going because I got living to do. Good night.